Hello, Hannah the Suburban Witch here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the psychic senses. What I'm going to do is go through each of the senses and how they work and how you can better tune in for yours as well, and the key ones that you work with, because yes, we are all psychic. Now it just comes down to how you work with it, how you practice it. You know, if you don't use it, you lose it. So knowing how to tune into those senses is going to be really beneficial, and knowing which one you work with the best as well. So let's get cracking. Now, psychics and mediums both use the same methods of receiving information. So we're all going to be using our psychic senses. These are similar to your normal senses, so sight, smell, hearing, that sort of thing, but in the psychic realm. So a psychic is going to be reading these, energies that are around you, so around your aura field. So if you go to see a psychic, they're going to be reading you. Whereas if you go to see a medium, they're going to be getting that information through a spirit on the other side. Okay, so they're not reading you, they're reading the spirit. But both the psychic and the medium are going to receive this information through their psychic senses. Now we have three main ones. This is our sight, our hearing, and our feeling. And these are called clairvoyance, that's the one we all know. Clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. Clairaudience, clear hearing. And clairsentience, clear feeling. Now these are the three main ones, but you can also receive information by clairalience, that's clear smelling. Claircognizance, that is clear knowing. That's when you just know something with no prior knowledge. And then there's Clairgustance as well, so that is clear tasting. So that is 6 senses that we can use psychically. Now, sometimes the way you know if someone, what their main one is they'll often, if you're seeing a psychic or a medium, they might say things like, oh, I'm feeling this, or I'm hearing this, or I'm seeing this. Whichever word that they're using, so seeing, feeling, hearing, that's going to be their main psychic sense that they're using, or at least the one they're using at that point in time. So what you can do is listen to how you talk as well. So if you often say things like, oh, I feel like they're not really wanting me around right now, you might be clairsentient. If you say things like, I hear what you're saying, you might be clairaudient. Or, I see what you're saying, that's clairvoyance. So those sorts of things are key things that you can look at for your own self in sort of knowing which one you work with the most. Work with your strongest one first and then look at the other ones as well. So I'm just going to go through a couple of examples of how each one can come in and then leave it up to you to go out and practice. So clairvoyance, often it's not going to be right in front of our physical eyes. This is a lot of the time in our mind's eye, so that spot just here. And a good way to get in tune with that is to actually just rub a little eye around there. Close your eyes down and just try and blank your mind out. So this is when meditation can become really handy, to just blank out your mind and then see whatever comes in. Could be a color. What does that color mean to you? Could be an image, could be a symbol. And over time, you're going to start working with these symbols and they're going to start to mean things to you. And the more that you read for people, or the more that you tune in with your intuition, you're going to know, oh no, I just saw the image of, blue, and blue to me means I need to speak truthfully here. I can't, hide behind a white lie. So you can start to sort of work in with yourself there. You don't have to go out and be a psychic as a career, but you can just work with it in your own everyday life. Clairaudience, so things we can do is just listen out for songs on the radio. There might be a certain song that pops on and you're just going to hear the exact lyrics at the right time in your life. These are like little signs and things that can come through. That's a sign of your clairaudience. Another one is when you have that voice in the back of your head that tells you to do something. Mine was to tell me to go and buy tarot cards, which I'd never before considered, and it was so against what I'd been brought up to do, but I eventually listened, and that was the best thing that I did. So clairaudience, listening to that inner little voice, it almost drops in like a thought in your head, almost like in your own thought voice, but knowing that you didn't create it, it's not from you, and learning to distinguish that. Again, meditation really helps. And clairsentience, that's your feeling. I often get this as almost like a feel of tingles. So when I'm having a conversation with someone, or I'm doing a reading and I flip a card, and the first feeling, like I might feel like this is anxious or feel like this is really good, whatever that feeling is, especially if it's accompanied by tingles, that means it's a really important thing for me to tell that client. So then we can go to Clairalience. I've only had this once before for myself, where I smelt hay in Arradale Asylum down in Victoria. That's a story for another day. And then there's another one which is Clairgustance. So that might be, you know, you think of your grandmother and you taste her, you know, sweet apple pie that she always made. You just get that little taste on your tongue. So that one's not quite as common. And Clair, oh gosh, now I've gone blank. Claircognizance, there we go. Claircognizance, that is when you just clearly know something, often brought in with things like precognition. So that's just knowing the future, how it's going to happen, with not really having it come through a sense. It's just suddenly you just know that information. So that's also one that's not as common. Anyway, let me know what you think. If you want to hear more things like this, I urge you to go to my blog. I do all sorts of posts on all sorts of witchy, taboo, tarot, astrology, psychic, metaphysical subjects. So go check it out. Let me know what you think, and I'll chat to you all later. Bye.